welcome to Chatterbox Reviews. I'm your host, Tanya. With me today is my lovely husband, Stanley, and we are doing the Dune movie review.
We haven't read the books. We haven't, I haven't watched the original movies or series or anything like that.
I watched it when I was very, very young.
Mm-hmm. And there was just us going in fresh to this. So we're going to go into like just sort of not spoilers, but sort of spoilers.
Yeah,
but anyway, all right. So like, yeah, overall, we'll just say like, yeah, it's going to be spoilers. So we really liked this going into it, like completely unaware of everything that was going on with it. I was really blown away at like, you know, the scope of it, because the whole atmosphere of it was like just a character.
Gorgeous.
And I can understand why like they kind of had this whole sort of, we have the technology, we have the effects, we have everything, like nothing is off limits for being able to portray this whole story kind of deal. But it's just such an unexpected kind of story, like with Oscar Isaac's character not being like one of these corrupt kind of dudes and stuff,
just
but then
really good guy.
Yeah, like, and having his son Paul like sort of having those premonitions and stuff, that was like really kind of, for me, keeps me guessing like what the hell's gonna happen, like, because there's a few different parts that sort of caught me off guard. I was just like, all right, well, here's a typical story of this and this, and I was like, oh, this is really kind of cool.
It's so nice to have such an original movie in these kind of days. Just to see the landscapes that they're using, the story that they're telling, and the fact that there's a TV series coming as well for the Jezeries.
I think the prequel series
so that's going to be really good for them to touch on what Paul's mother is and how she became what she is today. And it kind of touched on Paul's kind of future as well, because he's a product of two powerful houses, and great power comes great responsibility.
It ain't a Spidey story, but like, yeah, so pretty much I was really kind of blown away at that they weren't like, doesn't feel like a very heavy-handed sort of like, oh, we need to put in woke politics and we need to put in this, we need to have our token character here, we need to have this.
It's not very political,
and
which is perfect.
It doesn't point at you in the face and say, see, we have to do better kind of crap. It's legitimately like, it feels like such a nice story of, you know, this character trying to sort of stop some of his future. He sees a lot of this stuff, like, but you can see there's these different elements in there for any Star Wars fan of the original Star Wars, and like, you know, with George Lucas's vision, you could see traces of what George kind of took, because George Lucas was always like kind of, I want to make a Flash Gordon movie, couldn't get the rights to it. I want to make a John Carter of Mars movie and stuff, couldn't get the rights to it. I think Dune is a classic example of what he would have wanted to do, and the studio was like, no, we're just not going to give you the rights or give you the money or backing to get that and make that property. So what did he do? He went off and made his own version of it. And watching this, you can just pick apart just different elements that you're sort of like, hey, that's like from Star Wars, I like this, like, but it's technically what George took from the books and everything. But
that's right.
Is like there anything in there that you'd be like, wish they kind of went more into this or that?
No, not at all. I just wanted more. So it just goes past so quickly. We saw it in Gold Class Cinema with some great friends of ours. We all enjoyed it at Event Cinemas. And just seeing this story come to life is awesome.
It makes you want to read the books, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I've got the Dune book coming, so I'm going to be reading that. So I can't wait to get my hands on that and actually like flush out the story a little bit more in my mind. Just seeing at the beginning, it kind of touches on Paul going through his like voice power, trying to channel it, trying to grow it, I suppose.
The Force.
And that reminded me so much of Skyrim, where they do the shout. And I was like, oh, this sounds so good.
Dover Bear. I love that cartoon. If you haven't seen it, watch it, look it up. It's on YouTube. It's very cool. But
so funny.
yeah, so like Hans Zimmer's like score in it, everyone was kind of like saying, score could have been beefed up a bit. I liked it. I thought it really nailed the tone off what it was.
The sounds
like.
were perfect.
Yeah, and just there's a part where you see Oscar Isaac and Paul and the whole crew of them coming off the ship, and they're playing these bagpipes, and I was like nudging you, going, "Man, this is awesome! This feels so like you feel like you're in that whole world, like just going, wow, this is so like epic and vast." It's definitely an IMAX kind of movie to see.
We'll be going to see this again for sure.
Yeah, and we know we're late to this because, like, well, guess where we are? We're in Australia, and we're getting everything like dead last. So, yeah, pretty much. I think it's definitely a cinema movie. You have to see it in the cinema.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we heard that it's gotten greenlit for a sequel.
Yes. And the TV series coming out as well, just to help flush out the story that little bit extra.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they're going to make a, like, to the sequel book. I think, like, because I've heard, like, that's the book and that's how much of the movie we got.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get, like, the rest of that book if in the sequel and stuff, because they could stretch it out for years, but...
Well, it's, at the moment, I think there's 6 books.
6 books, but it kept going. His son...
Yeah, his son's continued on. So, I reckon that this could either turn into a awesome kind of prolonged movie series, or they could just turn it straight into a TV series, depending on... on what they want to do, but just to have it continue would be epic.
Yeah, and that's one thing where it's like you do get left on the edge of your seat when it's like kind of like, oh man, this is where it's like, it was a great setup.
Yeah.
It was a great introduction. Like, hopefully we're off and running to like, the nenext big kind of deal that's come with it. But if you've read the books and if you've like seen the movie or seen the original, live action portrayals of them, like just let us know what you guys think. And was this a great adaptation for you? Let us know in the comments below. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. And thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.